Old Trafford deserves to see one last title before we say goodbye
Big,
to it.
big title,
Big
if not
fucking
PL.
time.
Big title. Chris Wheeler gave one exclusive report yesterday saying that they might cut short the plan to keep Old Trafford and make new stadium. Now the report suggests that they might demolish Old Trafford, or either they will reduce the capacity for women's team and the youth players. And but they will also keep the Munich clock, the Holy Trinity statues, the Ferguson statue. So I don't know. These are very mixed feelings for me actually because I've grown up watching this stadium, and I wanted to ask you, as an Asian fan, what do you feel about this? Because we hold certain sentimental value for this stadium, for this club. Like us, each and every Manchester United fan who has not been to stadium would like to visit that historical stadium one day. So I wanted to know your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like as an Asian fan, obviously, because all of us see Old Trafford as the Mecca के उधर एक pilgrimage हमेशा करना ही है सबको someday, and it's one of the things that we've always like we've known each other for almost now 10-15 years, and it is an aspiration all of us have कि we have to go to Old Trafford, we have to go to पैसे बचाओ जाना है कभी ना कभी तो जाना है.
True,
So from that perspective, yeah, it's disappointing if they do end up deciding on. So to be clear, a decision hasn't been made yet, right? So anything can
correct,
happen. But
correct.
uh, yeah, personally, I would not like Old Trafford to go away. But again,
Hmm,
it is more of a sentimental answer that I'm giving because
hmm,
this is what I want. Like, and what I want isn't really relevant because the match going fans are the ones who are going there week in, week out. And I'll probably go there once in like 5 years or maybe 3 years, or if I manage to move there sometime, then probably I'll become a season ticket holder.
hmm,
But yeah, I mean, uh, it's 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 I think the you have to look at it from a sentimental perspective, obviously, of a United fan, of what of what that stadium means to us, and what all we have seen inside that stadium, all the goals, the Stretford end, all the chanting, the unveiling of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Like we have a seat in the stadium which is exclusively dedicated for Sir Bobby Charlton, which even after his death remains there. Nobody has occupied it. It has his nameplate. So there are way too many like sentimental things. So it is going to be a hard thing to let go. But at the same time, we have to also face certain realities. The stadium infrastructure is completely outdated, and compared to other stadiums and other clubs, it I mean, like, the size is still there. Manchester United still attracts one of the biggest home crowds in all of England, and in all of the world. But I mean, we- you cannot keep counting on it to be the best in class going forward. So from that perspective, sure. And also from the perspective of Ineos, it is like they have just bought the club, at least the footballing control of the club. So they also want to sort of kind of set their mark and put their stamp that okay, we are now the ones who are running the show. And what better way to do it than try to sort of establish a new stadium. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. I personally, I weigh more on the sentimental side because it's United, so I cannot think logically about it. But there are many things. If you look in the realm of logic, you'll be able to also justify that. So it's a kind of like a 50-50 thing.
true. I agree with you, actually. And like you mentioned, Manchester United and Old Trafford, they are not just a football stadium or a football club. They are institution. And that institution is arguably world's biggest or one of the biggest, if not the
True,
biggest.
true.
And people look up to it. Old Trafford 15 years ago was वो ज़माने का, let's say, Etihad or whatever, Wembley as of now. And it's so sad to see that these owners, they didn't pump any money. They sucked the money out of the club and they just neglected everything. Hence, roof का वो leaking वाला video, which is very famous and which is every time it happens. There
Yeah,
was also a few pictures of backside of the Old Trafford where all
yeah,
the rust was there, and it's genuinely sad to see that which the club has such rich history. It has seen so many ups and downs. They have to go through this. We have to go through this as fans because let's say if they are uh, going to demolish it and few unlucky fans who couldn't visit Old Trafford. So it will be a, I don't know, they are saying that they will keep every historical thing, but that land has, that value which
yeah,
attracts everybody. And I get it, practically speaking. Look at Real Madrid. What a class stadium. Look at Spurs being Spurs, but they have a good stadium.
yeah.
But Liverpool also, they have Anfield, but they have renovated it time to time. तो उनका खराब नहीं है stadium. Look, and if you see Chelsea are also in talks to expand the stadium or move to a new place.
Correct.
So I think looking or thinking logically, uh, moving to a new stadium would be a good thing. But यहाँ पे मैं दिल से सोच रहा हूँ, लॉजिक से नहीं. So
Yeah.
Old Trafford holds amazing value in my heart and in everybody's heart, I believe.
I mean, the shameful part of this is that it has come to this point where we have to have this discussion ke purana stadium ya naya stadium. It should have, in the first place, never come to this, because the owners for the last 15 years have let it decay to another level. I mean, you remember there were reports that till 2017 or 18, United didn't even have Wi-Fi in Old Trafford. And then there
Yeah.
were these reports when the health inspectors showed up, they found rats and very poor toilets, and they gave us like a 1 star out of whatever rating scale they follow. So it's actually shameful that we have let it come to this.
And on a funny side, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he returned, he had also
Huh.
complained saying, मैं
Yeah.
जब ये छोड़ के गया तभी ये सेम चीजें अभी तक चल रही है. ये अभी तक
Yeah.
घटिया स्विमिंग पूल यूज कर रहे हैं. So all said and done, joke wise, but now we realize that, like for example, we have seen the renovation of the tunnel before and after. We have seen the photos. Look how amazing that looks, and we are talking about this in 2024, which is
Yeah.
actually a shameful thing. So, yeah, those
Yeah.
two people, man, I swear that family, man.
So with Old Trafford, one of the things that I was reading is that renovations already are very tricky to make in Old Trafford, because वो train track से एकदम लग के है. The stadium is like right next to the train track. So doing renovations already is quite tricky there. But at the same time, there are over like 100 acres area around Old Trafford, and there is a huge parking lot which is sort of going unutilized right now, apart from the parking itself. So the idea originally pitched was okay, Old Trafford can stay as it is, and then in that extra area we'll be building New Trafford. I hope they don't end up calling it that. So yeah, the idea is that, and also so the story of Old Trafford's decay is also sort of reflected in the entire Manchester economy. So if you see, Manchester initially started off as the industrial hub of England. वहाँ पे पोर्ट था, there used to be mills, there used to be a lot of these manufacturing factories there. So it was like at the heart of when the industries started coming up. Manchester and Liverpool, the rivalry emerged out of those two being very important economies. and over the years their economic power has completely faded away. And in a way, if you look at our stadium now, it reflects that. So if you look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe's interviews, he has talked about this whole idea that we need to regenerate this Manchester economy, and
Wembley
City
of the
have
North.
Wembley of the North wala uska jo idea hai, because he feels that everybody has to go to Wembley to for these like big events. And from a economic perspective also, this is something Fiorentino Perez of Real Madrid talked about. The whole idea of renovating Bernabeu was ke you have this piece of land which is prime real estate in Spain, right? It is in the heart of Madrid, Bernabeu. But that prime real estate, how many times is it getting utilized in a week? 2 days in a week. So 5 days it generates zero revenue for the club, even though it is the most valued property in all of Madrid. So
Hmm.
his idea was that, the whole layered system that they have, where they can completely change the pitch of the stadium to make it suitable to a concert, or make it suitable to a maybe a business convention or a political rally of sorts. So the whole idea, I think those are the things that our owners are also kind of looking at and seeing how Bernabeu or how the Tottenham Stadium has been built up to do that. Tottenham has also taken quite a lot of advantage with their deal with the NFL. So some of the NFL matches that happen in England happen
True.
in Tottenham Stadium. So I mean, in a reality where you have things like FFP, you have things like PSR, and money has become such a huge thing in football. I think it is unfortunately inevitable that we will need a new stadium. My only thing is we shouldn't lose the spirit, yeah, because it happened to Arsenal when they left Highbury and they moved to Emirates. Emirates was a glamorous stadium, but Emirates has still hasn't seen a single Premier League trophy come to it. Whereas Highbury was this hyper successful ground for Arsenal and Wenger. So I hope we don't lose the spirit of the place in it. And Old Trafford deserves to see one last title before we say goodbye
Big,
to it.
big title,
Big
if not
fucking
PL.
time.
Big title.
Yeah.
Big.